Hello, everyone. My name is PJ Werchansky, and I am the PR manager for Uplift and also one of your hosts for Marketing Mondays. So, this week we are diving into week two, and this one really gets into some of the exciting details of adventure tourism. And we'll continue our theme of small efforts for a big impact. And so, today we're going to jump right in. And here's our blueprint for today. So we're going to cover what is adventure tourism. We'll go through some audiences, the most popular audiences for adventure tourism, as well as their motivations. And then we'll set some goals. We want this to be certainly reasonable and achievable. So we're going to give you some possible goals that you can look at for the next 3 to 6 months. And then as far as some ideas on how to achieve those goals. So small efforts for big impacts. Then we will include a checklist or a personalized action plan, as well as some key takeaways on everything that we've discussed today. So let's get started. What is adventure tourism? Well, adventure tourism is a specialized travel industry niche, emphasizes exploration and immersion in unfamiliar locales. Now, that doesn't mean it's always places people have never been before. Could be a second visit to an area, but this time you focus a bit more on adventures or food or wineries or something like that. But typically it involves some element that's new to the individual. This sector is characterized by both mild and rigorous adventures, cultural and historical interactions, and abundant opportunities for meaningful engagement with local communities in the natural world. So let's look at some examples. So the first one, which is one of the most popular ones, is that people love to travel to locations to enjoy activities. Now, within our Uplift communities, there are literally just a plethora of activities, and I'm going to go through just a few of them, but I'm going to go through them kind of quick. So we've got hiking, swimming, fishing, boating, kayaking, canoeing, wildlife viewing, farm tours, horseback riding, backpacking, hunting, rock climbing, hot air ballooning, mountain biking, cycling, zip lining, birding, cultural festivals, city tours, street food exploration, and nature bathing. So that's just some of the ones within our Uplift communities. Next, people plan trips around unique lodging experiences, such as the Cache River tree houses. Who wouldn't love to go stay in a tree house? Number three, people look for destinations that have a reputable foodie scene or food scene to explore and better understand the history and the culture of that area. And then finally, shared interests. It could be a girlfriend or guys getaway or a family reunion where people get together based on shared interests that also satisfy additional needs, such as Bladen County that has wineries, a place with outdoor spaces for recreational interest, as well as an incredible history. Right, so let's look at some of the audiences for adventure tourism. First is nature travelers. Now, nature travelers are typically between the ages of 40 and 60. It includes both men and women. They are professionally active. This could be couples or families, and they prefer to stay in comfortable accommodations, not necessarily luxurious. They focus on immersing in nature, watching wildlife, really escaping the daily grind. And they're looking for places to relax and unwind. Usually involves some sort of physical activity. They usually plan multiple activities each day to fill the schedule. They desire self-development and learning. Easy access is a must. And they're not necessarily budget travelers, but they do look for affordability. Trips are pre-planned. They look for reliable and safe transportation. They look for local guides. And they're interested in places that promote sustainability and responsible travel. And they enjoy finding the lesser known places to be able to share with friends and family. Now, cultural travelers is a bit more of a narrow group of individuals. It's men and women, usually in that 50 to 60. I've got 50 to 55 on this one, that are professionally active. They desire good quality service. They stay in traditional, comfortable accommodations, usually traveling with a spouse or a partner. They place focus on learning new things from new places and people. They seek to engage in new experiences, things that they've not done before. They really strive to meet and engage and interact with locals. They want to support local businesses. They enjoy eating local food, learning about food. They're not in a hurry. They want to enjoy each experience fully before moving on to the next one. And they typically choose places that help restore them and their well-being. So it needs to be restorative. They also are not afraid of language barriers. They enjoy history tours, crafts, cooking classes, light activities, and they want their trip to impact the local economy positively. And then finally, let's look at the experience seeker. Now, this does have some components of the nature traveler and the cultural traveler, but I really wanted to focus on this because it is one of the largest sectors of adventure tourism, and it is one of the fastest growing segments. Now, it includes one of the largest varieties, so it's 18 to 54 years of age. It's female-based, or at least female decision-based. It's the perfect blend between traditional adventure travel and luxury travel, and emphasis is placed on pleasure and comfort seeking more so than thrill seeking. This is families, those who are interested in accessibility, and also multi-generational. Now, the experience seeker is primarily a soft adventurer. They look for the road less traveled, and they desire authenticity. A little bit more about the experience seeker is that, as I mentioned, they're one of the fastest growing segments. They enjoy exploring new places, discovering rich histories and cultures. They focus on the experiences that create shareable memories. This is the group that really wants to be able to capture the experiences through video, through photos, and post them on their social media. That's really where it comes into play. Is it going to look good to my friends and my followers if it's something that I'm into? So they do like the educational components that relates to culture, geography, wildlife, history, and natural wonders. And as I mentioned, they desire a level of safety in their experiences. Now, this group can be families, girlfriend or guy friend getaways, multi-generational, those with accessibility concerns, beginning travelers. Really, it's a wide range of possibilities. All right, well, let's jump into the motivations or the triggers as to why they look for adventure travel. A lot of us are busy. We're wearing many hats. We have families, we have jobs, maybe 2 jobs, or we're wearing multiple hats for that job, and we're looking for an escape from that busy lifestyle. We're also looking to meet like-minded individuals, to really connect with those that are into our same interests, whether it's a specific activity or really like breweries or wineries or history buffs or birding, things like that. A lot of people will be motivated to travel so that they can experience diverse cultures or other local communities. Maybe achieve a more desirable well-being if it's more based around wellness. It could be to discover new passions or interests. Post-COVID, so many people really had gotten outside and really enjoyed it. And so they became really into that adventure travel or going to new places to enjoy the outdoors, those open spaces. And it can also be to reestablish connections or find new ones. And as we mentioned with Marketing Mondays in general, be mindful of your key audiences. Okay, so where do I start? What we're going to suggest here is that you focus on setting 1 to 3 reasonable communication goals over the next 3 to 6 months. So these are just some ideas. Goal number 1, create content that connects with your target audience. I was at a Visit NC conference a couple of years ago, and one of the keynote speakers, this was like my takeaway. He said, get your audience to feel something, because if they feel something, they are more motivated to do something about it. That's number 1. Goal number 2, make relationship and reputation building a priority and be consistent. Now, we're going to talk a little bit later about how to do this, but this is really important. One of my graduate professors talked about just experiencing things. When you're done with your homework, go for a walk, go be a part of something, because the more that you experience, the more well-rounded your perspectives are, and you tend to get to know your audiences and those that you're communicating to a lot better. you can connect with them a little bit easier. Okay, goal number 3, use the most effective channels based on where your key audiences live. Where are they? Are they on social media? Are they on your website? Are they there in person? Are they finding you through, other organizations? Like, where are they? And you need to be aware of that, find that out so that you can connect with them more meaningfully. And we'll talk a little bit about how to do that as well here shortly. All right, so those are some goals over the next 3 to 6 months. Now, how do we accomplish those? So here's some easy to do items that will help you reach your goals. Number 1, create content that addresses your target audience's needs or motivations. So just for example, what if your target audience was families? It's a lot of us, right? So in the Uplift communities, a lot of us are hosting families. So focus a post, blog, or video on a parent's desire to spend meaningful time with their family, allowing them to discover new experiences that build relationships with their children. So if this becomes a theme, it becomes one of your signature stories. And you ask, well, what is a signature story? Well, it's a compelling, authentic, and engaging narrative that conveys a strategic message that can help elevate your brand and bring your business forward. So in action, here's an example for Stanley County. Immerse yourself in adventure in Stanley County as you dive into Albemarle's Carolina Treetop Challenge. Experience a weekend of RV-friendly camping as you explore our scenic lakes for water sports or fishing. Be sure to hit the trails to discover the natural beauty of the area. Stanley County is the perfect blend of excitement, relaxation, and cherished family moments. So there's an example to help create content that really addresses your target audience's needs or motivations. All right, here's idea number 2. Develop and disseminate a short survey to gain essential perspectives from your guests or visitors. One of the ideas, or here's an example, is to utilize a Google form. Come up with 3 to 5 questions. It might include, how'd you find us? What's the reason for your visit? How do you rate us overall? Some suggestions, and how likely are you to return or tell others about it? Now, the benefit to this is it provides you with direct guest feedback that you can utilize to enhance future experiences and help to evaluate effective communication channels, one of those goals we talked about. And it also really becomes almost like an open conversation, right? So, a lot of what businesses today are doing is coming up with that reciprocating relationship, right? So it's not just about us telling you all about our offerings, but it's about, here's what we're offering. Now tell us, how do we do? What can we do differently? What can we co-create based on your feedback? So in action, that would be developing a survey, creating a QR code that can easily be shared, and then putting it out there, making sure it's in front of your guests. So it could be through a follow-up email, social media, or right there at your location with a QR code. All right, here's idea number 3. Work on developing or building one key partnership to help raise awareness of your offerings. So we talked a little bit about, reputation building, relationship building, partnerships. Start with somebody in your professional circle that's like-minded or is in a similar profession or industry. This allows you to experience how others work. You get to learn about how they face challenges, how they problem solve, how they network, and it allows you to gain new perspectives. So in action, that could be meeting with another community member within Uplift over coffee or through Zoom. Schedule that call with somebody in your professional circle, or reach out to a new professional association and learn about collaboration and networking opportunities. Here's a few examples. Southeastern Tourism Society, the North Carolina Restaurant and Lodging Association, or even Associate Executives of North Carolina are all great organizations that many of us in North Carolina in the tourism industry have either been a part of or have some great opportunities for networking there. So here's an example. I came across this on Facebook not too long ago, where I noticed that Watauga Lake Entrepreneurs Guild, it's a business support and skill sharing meeting. So they get together once a month over coffee, and it's just for local businesses. It's a standing meeting. People come in, they discuss their challenges, they give each other support, and they also share skills. So that was a cool idea. So if you're looking for an idea, maybe you can create or start a Facebook group and then get together once a month over coffee get to know the other businesses out there. All right, here's idea number 4. Develop a sample itinerary in your community or region based on audience interest. So if you're a TDA or you're promoting a specific town, come up with a sample itinerary. How long your visitors are coming. Is it a 24-hour, 48, 72-hour itinerary? This example is from our state. They have these hosted trips. But what this does is it allows you to engage with your audience over a variety of your offerings, whether it's food, activities, events, it's special, unique experiences. Helps raise awareness of your town's offerings. So start with a 48-hour itinerary, make it relatable, fun, and then be sure to utilize visuals that attract your audiences. Our Uplift communities are beautiful, and they definitely need to shine when you're creating these sample itineraries. And here's a pro tip, not for me because I can't come up with these things, but for AI, it's the latest thing. If you have a software program that can generate user-generated content that comes up with itineraries based on your location, you are going to be ahead of the game. So I'm sure somebody's out there figuring it out right now, but I would stay on top of that because that's going to get somebody to come to your location. All right, here's idea number 5. Develop personas for your target audience that help you visualize your ideal visitor or guest. So it's like coming up with a story about your perfect guest, your perfect client. So here's an example. Shannon and her husband are in their early 60s and plan 5 to 7 trips a year. They enjoy unique experiences. They work hard professionally to be able to afford comfortable travel. They enjoy learning about local cultures and histories, and they love to support sustainable and responsible business practices. They have grown children that occasionally travel with them, but most of the time is spent with one another. They read more than the average person. They enjoy live music, foodie destinations, and mild adventures like hiking and wildlife viewing. So this allows you to get to know your target audience better. You can communicate with them on a personal level, which enhances the authenticity of your brand and increases engagement. All right, so here's your checklist. These are the things that we talked about to help you accomplish your goals. Develop 1 to 3 signature stories, create a short survey and get that sent out, establish 1 key partnership, develop a sample itinerary, and write out a persona or more for your target audiences. Now, here's a QR code right here. If you scan that, Kara has nicely created a Google form that's got all of these on there, and you can fill it in and mark the ones that you've completed. All right, so key takeaways. Adventure tourism has endless opportunities. So many people post-COVID are going for these experiences for their vacations. Number 2, identifying and understanding your target audiences. We've got nature traveler, cultural traveler, and experience seeker. Number 3, come up with 1 to 3 strategic communication goals over the next 3 to 6 months. And then we went through the easy to implement action items. Hopefully those 5 suggestions will allow you to reach your goals. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us this week. Be sure to join us again next week as Kara dives into culinary tourism. It is going to be one you don't want to miss. Have a great week. And thanks again for being a part of the Uplift community.